All right, so today we are going to talk about self actualization. Most people, when they talk about self actualization, they think of it as the highest form of human need, and it is often described as the final destination, something that we can only reach when every other need of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs are fulfilled. For the longest time, I also think that self actualization is something that is an elusive state that is reserved only for the top percentage of people or select few people. For me, it's something that is abstract, something difficult to attain, and something distant. But with this week, I realized something important, that self actualization is not actually a destination, and it's a way of living. For the first time in a long while, I genuinely felt like I've lived close to my full potential. Not perfectly, but intentionally across multiple dimensions of my life this week. And I'm here today trying to express it and communicate it all out. There are five aspects that I really wanted to cover: the physical aspect of self actualization, the relational aspect of self actualization, time and energy, psychological aspect, and identity. So, physical. One thing I realized is that self actualization becomes much harder when the vessel, which is our body, is neglected. Vessel in which all of our potential is expressed. Without a strong and healthy asset, everything becomes or feels heavier. The brain or the thinking becomes much slower or harder. Work also becomes harder or more difficult. Emotional regulation, same, it becomes harder. Growth also becomes harder. This week I shared a strength training system or a strength training program that I personally use to build my strength and to improve my physical capabilities. So I shared a simple 5 by 5 protocol, 5 reps, 5 sets protocol centered around fundamental movements that we use in a day-to-day basis. 5 pull-ups, 5 squats, 5 bench press, and 5 deadlifts. That's it. All done, 5 sets. I do 80% of my repetition max as the volume that I target for me to improve strength. So this is something that is not fancy, but over the years of me doing it, this simple structure actually improved the quality of my life tremendously. Before, I was 240 pounds and I always feel sluggish going up the stairs, walking. Every single thing is difficult. Right now, I move better. I feel stronger. Work feels easier. The energy levels are much more stable. And more importantly, this training taught me something that is deeper. The discipline compounds and the body adapts to the stress when stress is applied consistently and sustainably. That's why I made this workout program easy for me so I can sustain it. And I think that life works the same way. That self actualization is not just about thinking deeply or discovering your purpose. Part of it is actually physical, and part of it is taking care of our body that carries our dreams. The second aspect is the relational aspect. Another area that I reflected deeply on this week was about relationship and leadership. I don't believe that human beings are meant to self actualize alone. Part of maximizing our potential is helping other people grow too. I feel that we influence the environments we are part of. I think that that is our mandate as human beings, to try and influence the environments and make it better. Influence teams, our family, the people that we serve, our friends. At this particular stage of my life, I am blessed to be able to lead a team. And right now, I spend a lot of time reflecting on what leadership actually means to me. Right now, my philosophy is centered around three things: self preservation, a clear and purposeful direction, and a balance of care and challenge. For self preservation, I used to think that leadership was mostly about communication skills, systems, and execution. But now I think that leadership really begins with the condition of the leader itself. If I am mentally exhausted, or emotionally unstable, or I am somewhat internally disturbed or disconnected with what is happening with my personal life, that energy will actually leak out to my team. And I cannot lead people properly if I am not okay. So taking care of my mind, my body, and the internal world is not actually selfish. It is part of my responsibility. And my team deserves someone who is stable enough to carry the weight with them. Second part of leadership for me is a clear and purposeful direction. I also realize that direction matters deeply. And I am not just talking about KPIs, numbers, and targets. Those things matter, but purpose matters more. For example, in our physical therapy team that I lead, our deeper mission is longevity. So we want people to move well with their life. We want them to understand that their bodies needs care, and they need to proactively take care of their bodies for it to be sustainable in the long term. So that is what longevity means for us. So even if our numbers or targets fluctuate, but if people genuinely begin valuing longevity and health because of our influence, I already consider that a meaningful progress. So purpose gives direction to effort. Without purpose, metrics becomes empty. And the last concept I have for leadership is a good balance of care and challenge. What I mean with this is that I think that people want two things simultaneously. They want to feel cared for, and they want to grow. And good leadership requires both. Good leadership provides those two things. As a leader, I need to understand, or I need to realize that people are not machines designed to only produce output. Growth also requires challenge, standards, discomfort, responsibility, but the key is balance. Too much pressure without care, people will break. Too much comfort without challenge, it weakens the team. So the real leadership is knowing how to hold both simultaneously. So that's how I am currently self actualizing in that area of my life. Third area is time and energy. This week, I also became deeply interested in optimizing energy rather than just time. Because time alone is useless if the energy is depleted. So I started experimenting with the concept of ultradian rhythms. Ultradian rhythms are natural biological cycles that govern the fluctuations in our focus, energy, and hormones, mental performance to throughout the day. So the basic idea is that we operate in cycles, around 90 minutes of peak performance, and then followed by 20 to 30 minutes of recovery. So Instead of forcing myself to work endlessly, I started designing my day and my work around these natural rhythms. So focus work and then intentional rest. Focus work and then intentional rest. Alongside this, I also noticed that my phone destroys my ability to stay present. It's because of the notifications that is constantly popping on my phone that it fractures my attention. My solution to that is I started placing a lot of airplane mode buttons on my phone across different screens of my phone to reduce the friction whenever I need deep focus. Sounds super simple, but it helped me tremendously. I'm also beginning to realize that protecting the attention is one of the most important skills in modern life. Because where your attention goes, that's where your life goes. Fourth aspect of my self-actualization journey is actually the psychological aspect. And this is probably the deepest realization that I had this week. I noticed that I genuinely struggle with rest. When nothing is happening, I became agitated. My mind automatically searches for work, output, progress, and optimization. And for a long time, I thought this was good. This is discipline. But now I think part of it was fear. Fear that my worth decreases when my productivity decreases. Years ago, I unconsciously tied my value to my achievements, but the impact that I have and my accomplishments. If I produce a lot, I feel valuable. If I slow down, I feel guilty. But during those moments of rest this week, I realized something that is important, that life also unfolds in stillness. When my schedule softened, I suddenly had more mental space, more clarity, more peace, and more openness to receiving good things. And slowly, I begin accepting something that my mind resisted for years, that my worth is not based on my output, not on my accomplishments, not on status, and not even how much I help people. I realize that I am valuable because I exist. That realization sounds simple, but psychologically, it changed something in me, and my heart feels lighter because of it. Last part of my self actualization journey is the identity arena. This week, I reflected deeply on identity. As I move forward in life, I realized that I no longer wanted to be defined by a single pursuit. People always think that Gorby is equals physical therapy. I don't want to be confined with just that one lane. I wanted to become a polymath, a renaissance man, someone capable across many dimensions of life. Right now, I'm doing that. One of the skills that I'm stacking is with pottery. So this week, I made a simple mug coaster because my mom and I were getting irritated by the ring marks hot coffee produces on our wooden table. So it's a very small project, but strangely, it meant a lot to me because years ago, I used to feel insecure about not knowing how to create or fix things with my hands. All I knew before was academics and physical therapy. If something broke at home, I don't usually know what to do. I think part of me carried shame around that. So learning pottery, woodworking, baking, and all these other crafts feels deeply healing for me. it feels like I am reclaiming a part of myself that was underdeveloped for years. And maybe that's part of self actualization too. Not just becoming more successful, but becoming more who. Right now, I no longer think that self actualization is some mystical final form of human existence. I think it simply means fully engaging with life, taking care of the body, leading and loving people properly, managing the energy intentionally, healing psychologically, and building identity through meaningful pursuits. That's the summary of this week. Not perfectly, but consciously. And maybe self actualization is not about becoming someone else. Maybe it's about fully becoming who you already are. That's the letter that I have about self actualization this week. I hope you guys like it. If you like it, subscribe to this channel and check out the newsletter that I have, wherein I do daily writings for all the things that is happening to me. I wanted to document my journey, my Renaissance journey, my self actualization journey. So if you want more content about that or more videos about that, comment it what topic you want in this video, and I'll try my best to answer it, and I'll try to cover it if it it resonates with me. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Bye guys.